Cheers.
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 Hey, John, can you do the music?
Very nice and cold.
So cold.
Welcome to the Movie Podium, a weekly podcast where we collectively choose a movie to watch, and at the end of the week, we get together and talk about it. It's kind of like a book club.
But for movies.
It's for movies.
Because it's
We
called the
also
Movie
came up
Podium.
for a set of questions to ask ourselves, such as, is this a podium movie or a top 3 in the year of its respective release? This week's film was inspired by school being let out. Hooray, school's out for the summer.
So
let's channel.
Wow, man. just energy coming through the screen.
We'll get there.
Hooray.
Spoken like
school's
a true
out.
dad of schooling kids. Oh, school's out. Fuck me.
It's the opposite.
So,
You got
so
a
let's
nub
channel.
Alice Cooper right there.
Yeah, we should. So let's channel our summer party vibes, and without further ado, we present our next movie.
The 50s were boring, the 60s rock, the 70s, oh my god, they obviously suck.
Dazed and Confused.
People getting stoned. People getting drunk. People hanging out. Getting caught by cops.
Sounds like a horrible movie.
Yeah. That last part I could do without.
All right, I'm your host, Matt Scott, and I'm here
Hey,
with
Matt.
my dudes.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Dave.
Hello, Matt.
What's up? Eric.
Hi. Hi, Matt. Hey, Dave. Hi, John.
And hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John. Hello. Hello, John.
Hello.
What?
Hello, John.
Low extractions never recreated an intact DNA strand.
Bonus Alan Grant lines.
Sneak a little in every time.
Gotta take and fill the holes.
So this movie came out in the year 1993, but if you trace back the timeline of this film, you'll notice that it didn't really hit its stride until probably about 1996, which kind of makes it one of those cult classics where it doesn't really, gain popularity right away, but over time it gets through those rental units basically, and everybody talks about it. And then Matthew McConaughey is in A Time to Kill in 1996, and then it kind of just blows up from there, and it's syndicated all over cable, and so it's one of our generation's probably most watched. I mean, it was always on TV when we were in high school and college. I think it had a pretty big impact on me. What about you guys?
I didn't watch it all that much back in high school. I've seen it a few times now, but it wasn't a static thing throughout my youth.
Yeah,
Really?
I probably didn't see it until senior year.
Yeah,
of high
I guess
school.
that's probably about the same time for me. And then it was like, once I saw it the first time, it was like every other weekend we were watching it.
It wouldn't have been a movie that my parents would have seen for me to have been introduced to it that way. So, like, it probably, took meeting dudes in high school and then seeing that movie. Being introduced to pot in high school and seeing that movie.
That's underage, Dave.
Hey, man, are you cool?
Allegedly.
That's allegedly
Are
underage.
you cool?
Dave.
Are you cool,
You
man?
mean like I smoke pot?
He's asking if
Yeah.
you smoke pot. Or wait, no. He's asking if you get high.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready for some random ass facts?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Certainly.
I got a lot of good ones on this.
I've got one.
Awesome. Oh, good. All right. Well, it got a 7.6 on IMDb.
Is that higher than Thor? That is, right?
It is higher than Thor.
Nice.
What, 0.6?
7.
7.
7 points.
Like 1976.
That's right.
There you go.
The year it was obviously made. So
Took place.
took place. Yeah. Whoops.
It
Sorry.
was made in the 70s.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah. So this was one of the best soundtracks of all time, or at least for me, and pretty much well known around the movie world. And apparently
Hang on.
1/6.
Best soundtracks of all time.
And I think so.
This be a top with this podium. This is a Podium soundtrack
Don't put
movie.
me to it.
Yeah, I
Did
know.
we create a category
No.
just now?
Dave with the
We might have just
Disruption.
created a category,
In
but
honor of
top
Cody's
10.
new baby boy.
top 10.
I would say top 10, maybe 10.
Hey, it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming.
yeah, exactly. Well, apparently Linklater, the director Richard Linklater, spent 1/6 of the budget to acquire the rights to all these 1970s songs, and they were all specific to that era. There was, I think it was a Ted Nugent song that he wanted, but he couldn't put it in because it was after the year that this came out. So
yeah.
he was very specific
Okay.
about the year. He
So
also
instead
wanted
we
to
got
do,
Stranglehold.
yeah, which, darn. And,
He's a great guy.
yeah. Well, and they also wanted to do, or he also wanted to get Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin. And Jimmy Page said, okay, fine. But, of course, Robert Plant said, no,
Nice.
I don't think so. Because they're kind of known as dicks.
Yeah.
Well, it's Led Zeppelin.
How dare you
Unfortunately,
ask
one of my favorite bands.
to pay us to use our song?
Yeah, right. Back then they were Metallica.
If they could have
from
only
Metallica.
seen what the movie would turn out to be.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
I'm sure
there's
they gave a shit about that.
While we're on the topic of music, I want to
All right,
interject
perfect.
my
Yeah, perfect.
random ass fact. I was watching the making of Dazed, which was it's on the Criterion DVD,
Mhm.
and Linklater was talking about how he made all these like mix CDs and like proofs, like letters to each of the actors about like
yeah,
how their characters, like what their character story is and like how they would react and like what music they're into. And it was really cool. Like everyone got those in the mail before they even showed up to set.
yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I did hear
cool.
that. All right, it was something I heard in that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like when you have a director that cares that much,
Yeah.
I think it goes a long way.
For sure.
There's a couple good stories with Matthew McConaughey in this. Originally, he was actually not supposed to have a large role, and I'll kind of get into why. But this was his first film. Can you believe that?
Really?
That's
no, I
pretty
didn't
shocking.
think. Yeah.
He was in like a music video and a Miller Lite commercial.
How old is this in this movie? Like, not
20,
his character.
yeah, no, I get what
how-
you're asking.
When he got the role.
I would say he's probably about 21. I
Okay.
don't know that, but I would guess he's about 21. We'll fact check that. But
Old
he
enough.
actually, so one of my stats was that he's actually younger than, let's see, what was it? He was younger than Joey Lauren Adams and Parker Posey.
Oh, yeah.
So he's, of course, the creepy one who hits on all the freshmen,
Yeah.
but the girls that are younger than him are actually older than him. Thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned that he didn't really get famous till A Time to Kill, and they talked about this movie, or that when he was interviewed about this movie, he said that, nothing took off. This was his first movie. A couple years later, he does A Time to Kill, which is a John Grisham novel, and he said by Monday, he was a movie star, and everybody had talked about Dazed and Confused. It was like something just lit a fire.
Wow.
And yeah, which is kind of cool. And kind of along those lines, he originally only had a few lines, but apparently Sean Andrews, who plays Kevin Pickford, the stoner that was supposed to have the party at his house, and him and Jason London, Randall Pink Floyd, did not get along during the filming of this, And even at one point, the director Linklater had to break up a fight between them.
Really?
This got so bad that it actually changed the ending of the film and a lot of the lines. So at the end of this movie, when Matthew McConaughey or Wooderson, is the driver of this car that they're going to get the Aerosmith tickets, that was supposed to be Kevin Pickford.
Okay. Wow.
So none of that was supposed to happen with Wooderson. Any of basically the football field, the driving to get the tickets,
supposed
that
to
was
replace
all changed later.
So
Like,
No,
you're
was
saying
supposed to
Sean Andrews and who got into a fight?
Jason London.
Okay.
So they got into a fight, and it got so bad that basically, and it's kind of noticeable because in the first part of this movie, him and Mila Jovovich are the two first people you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wooderson isn't in it until they're talking about his car, which is such a great scene. Him and the greaser guy are talking about cars.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it, right? And that's not until halfway through the movie. And then it just slowly picks up. Well, that's because Linklater later had to do that on the fly, basically. They basically phased out Sean Andrews, which is this whole thing with Sean Andrews gets wilder.
Oh, no.
So apparently, him and Mila Jovovich got married in Vegas, right after they met on set. She was 16 and he was 21 at the time.
What the
fuck? They met filming and they're all hanging out. There's all these legendary parties at hotels and stuff. They elope, go to Vegas, get married, and come back, and then he gets basically taken out of this movie. I mean, this whole thing is nuts. And then months later, her mother actually got the marriage annulled. And so it was and didn't happen. And so this whole story, I mean, this guy basically lost his career just being an idiot for a couple months.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so.
You had it
because he tried to have a part.
You had it, and you lost it.
God, can you imagine some of those lines with McConaughey just not happening because some other guy was supposed to be in those scenes? And part of it is McConaughey. Most of those lines, all the famous ones, all the ones that we quote, were all ad-libbed. All of those he came up with. The LIVIN, all of those.
Oh, my God.
Those are all
Shut
him.
up.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I know I won't go too far.
Yeah.
That's funny because I did notice watching the movie this time, because I've seen this movie multiple times, but watching it this time I was like, man, it's weird how first Jason or Randy's hanging out with the dude and his girlfriend, getting the pot, they're gonna have the party at his buddy's house and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden the dude's just out of the picture after they go and smoke that one time in the car, and then after that he's not around anymore.
Yeah, so that's a big story behind this filming. So now you know that, or if you watch it again, that's something to notice.
The more you know.
See, I have 3 more. Vince Vaughn was actually supposed to, he auditioned for Ben Affleck's character, and they went with Ben Affleck. And then he auditioned for Cole Hauser's character. Cole Hauser is his friend in Good Will Hunting with the red hair.
Uh-huh.
And they said that Vince Vaughn looked too much like Ben Affleck.
Sorry,
they
Vince.
didn't cast Vince Vaughn. But Vince Vaughn, maybe right after this, was in Rudy.
Okay.
If you remember that. He's one of the linebackers that gets pissy.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I remember it
Vince
being
Vaughn?
Yeah.
In Rudy, he's in Rudy. I forgot who he played on the field, but I mean, he's
he's
a tall dude.
I don't think I've ever seen
he's
Rudy.
huge. What? That's crazy. Oh, it's so good. And sad. All right, 2 more. If you noticed, Wiley Wiggins wasn't a very convincing baseball player, or if maybe you didn't notice this, but he wasn't very good. Apparently, this is because he lied during the casting about him knowing how to play baseball and how to pitch. Apparently, it was so bad that they had to get a double for the pitching scene.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, there's a little documentary, and it's like called Linklater, or what is it? A toss with Wiggins and Linklater, and they're throwing a baseball, and he clearly can't throw a ball, and it's kind of like a joke.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
did he tell him that he could act too? Because he wasn't.
We'll get into
he wasn't the best.
No, I
No.
heard that there was something behind that.
Okay.
That like the like weird like twitches and things that he does, like that the director liked that because it was more like kid
He's
and
nervous.
awkward,
Okay.
like you
Yep.
know,
Okay.
like yeah.
Wow, that's a great segue. So my last point. Well, first, actually, I totally agree he's a bad actor, but I think it works.
Yeah.
Because of how Dave
Right.
described
Yeah.
it. Like he's not a good actor, but it makes sense that he's not a good actor in this case, or at least it works.
Mhm.
Because as a kid in his situation, you're kind of acting to fit in
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so my last fact is actually a question. How many times does Mitch Kramer touch the bridge of his nose?
God, it's got to be a lot.
I'm gonna say
It's a few.
17.
I'm gonna go 25.
21.
Times 2. 42.
Wow.
40. I
Oh my
almost said
gosh.
50.
Yeah.
I almost said 50.
I was gonna go up that
42
high, but then I was
times.
like, maybe I was over dramatizing it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
Right.
It was just
No.
one touch
I take
constantly
the
the whole
victory
movie.
on that
Yep.
one.
Price
Yep.
is
Suck
Right
it, Eric. Suck it, John.
You suck it, Dave.
Say it with your chest.
No.
Come on
All right,
down,
let's get into the
your
questions.
Ram
Let's do it.
1500 SLT.
Favorite thing about the movie? Eric, what was your favorite part about this movie?
I was trying to figure out something. I think the overall my favorite thing is like how it showed everyone's friendship like during that period of their lives.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. John?
So I liked this movie a whole lot completely. It's hard to pick out one thing.
Yeah,
But-
agreed.
One thing I noticed this time around that I don't know if I've ever noticed but really liked a lot is that during the hazing ritual of the girls, the two like basically smart kids that ride around with the redhead are like mocking the
nerds.
whole thing.
Fuck
The
them too.
nerds.
Yeah.
Mike is a piece of
The
shit.
nerds. The nerds.
And so one of their things they're mocking it over is they're like, someone's selling concessions here, for crying out loud. And I think they cut away either within the scene or to another scene, but at some point they come back and they both have like Coca-Cola cups indicating that they've bought the concessions that they were
Yeah.
mocking.
100%.
Nice.
That was just one thing out of many.
That is a very random thing,
Yeah.
but it's such a good movie that it anything works in this case. Dave?
There's lots of good things about this movie, but like thinking back, you know, in high school, this was it's that pothead movie. But like now watching it, it's like, oh, this is a good like high school movie. Like
Yeah,
a good
agreed.
like coming of age high school movie. Like
Yep.
it's a comedy, but you know, I remember laughing more than I did this time around, but it was still good. There's still some good lines in this movie. Lots of good handshakes. The ones where, like, whenever they walk up to each other and sniff each other's fingers.
We never did
There's that one. I wish there wasn't enough for me to do a top 5. I wish there was enough for me to have been able to do a top 5, but there wasn't. Another one that I really liked was they come up and they they dap each other up and then like act like they're tossing a roach.
Right. That's
yeah,
like right in
that's
the
a good
opening
one.
too. And it's the quarterback, so it's like, all right, you know what he's all about.
And then our protagonist is rolling around in an El Camino. It doesn't get any better than
Yes.
that.
Nice. The cars were pretty sweet in this.
Yeah.
Dude,
There's some cool
I kept
cars
thinking
in
to
this.
myself, man, these parents are fucking loaded with their giving their kids all of these nice ass cars from the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
like some of those
Yeah, they're-
trucks that those guys were driving
Oh,
around
yeah.
in were nice. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's no mention of that, and my guess. I mean, this was based in Texas, and
Austin.
my guess is
I looked it up because I
Austin,
saw
yeah.
the Texas
Mhm.
plates and I was like, what? Where
Yep.
in Texas is this supposed to take place?
Yeah, and I'm guessing Linklater, the director, again, this is kind of loosely based on him. This was kind of like his George Lucas's American Graffiti.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is kind of based on his life. My guess is he had money, or his parents had money. Most directors did. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. You pretty much have to, I think.
Yeah.
What a life.
None of this stuff is cheap, as
No.
we're learning, or I'm learning for sure. It's crazy. But yeah, I agree. This is one of my probably most rewatchable movies for me. Not necessarily one of my favorites. I mean, it is, but I don't know if I'd put it on a top 10 or a list.
Mhm.
But on the rewatchable aspect, I could watch this every day. It's so easy to watch, and you find different things throughout.
Yeah.
So if I had to pin it down, I came up with saying that it's one of the more realistic high school movies for us, or relatable to
Mhm.
us, and not necessarily the pot part, but
For
how
some
many
of
times
us.
did we well, for some of us, but how many times did we drive around the woods listening to music and getting into mischief, whether we were,
Yeah.
throwing bottles or doing other things? 25 years, what's the stat?
We're
Dude,
sorry,
it was,
Mrs. Mom.
It was a staple in a different time. Like, kids
Mhm.
probably can't even fathom doing that now because they have
Probably
so much
not.
entertainment in their hands,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
and everything else that they
Oh
don't.
yeah, the cops don't
Like
show
the-
up till the very end. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, man, they're
Right.
doing some wild stuff. Like
Yeah,
Right.
dudes running him down with a pistol because they busted his
Oh my God.
mailbox.
Yeah. What the fuck?
We didn't
Like, I
have
thought-
that
Yeah.
quite, but we did have cops, and we had our fun times. But that kind of reminded me of that, and also how life hasn't become regimented yet. Like everything's free. You just go from one place to the next. Like
Yeah.
we go from Zakowski's to Daniels or something. Like it was just on to the next place to have a good time. We had no responsibilities. We're just looking for a good time.
Yeah.
and it avoided. It was perfect doing the movie at the end of the school year because it avoided having all of those scenes of like unrealistic time hanging out between classes and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it
Agreed.
worked. It worked for this because it was the last day of school. So
Yep.
most of them
Yeah.
didn't even really care about going to their last classes for the year, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, I love that.
Yep. And then the juniors, like going into being seniors, like them just going around heckling the new freshmen that were coming up. Like,
That was such a clever, and honestly, it's not necessarily something that didn't happen. I mean, it wasn't as severe, but I remember Austin Price and some of those guys chasing us around with shaving cream when we were getting into middle school. Do you remember that, John?
Yeah.
I mean, we had our hazing. Now, it wasn't necessarily spanking, but that happened a lot in the 70s. So the fact that they make this without those, the stereotypical stuff. The other thing I wanted to add that was something that reminded me of our group or us was that I thought that our class was really good about being friends with any stereotype. Like our cliques weren't really cliques in our high school or our class, our grade. So like, for instance, Randall Floyd, he's hanging out with the jocks. He's a football player. But then you see him hanging out with the stoners. also has a relationship with the nerds. I mean, one night we'd be playing video games all night, and the next night we were at a party. Like, it wasn't like we had our barriers. And I think that Pink Floyd or Randall is that guy. And so that kind of reminded me of our relationship with a lot of friends. We had different friends, right?
I thought it was interesting the way they kind of talk about how they're just using football and sports for them to get away with anything. They don't have to worry about doing their classes and stuff like that because they're on the football team. Like, it was almost like they were. It was almost like they were taking advantage of the situation to be able to do and hang out with the other cliques that they hung out with.
Yeah, but I just didn't like how it wasn't in your face. Like most high school movies, it's like we have this group, we have this group, and it's all sectioned out, and it's so stereotypical. And yeah, sometimes that's true, but it's not always the case, and sometimes there's more gray areas.
So who of our moms would have been the mom with the shotgun saving the children?
John's mom.
It wouldn't have been my mom.
My mom never even touched it.
She would have. Yeah. She would have been
John's mom.
Get your ass.
My mom either. I don't think.
I don't know. Your mom's tough.
Yeah,
she's
tough.
I
don't know if she'd pull a gun on anyone.
It would be. It would be my stepmom. Was probably the answer there.
My mom is pretty wild, but I don't know if she would pull a gun on anyone.
She doesn't. She never scared me. Like, she was always so
that
happy.
lady cocked it.
Yeah, that's true. That's, So that's.
I feel like you have to be a little more like.
That was extreme. Like, while pointing it at Ben Affleck, cocked it.
I think of our moms. I would say John's mom was most intimidating for me. Not saying she was, but of our moms.
She's definitely liable to go like, my baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Grandma was very protective. She might pull a gun on somebody.
I could see that. I could see that. All right, next category we've got least favorite thing about the movie. Dave, I'll go back to you.
Man, I just hate Adam Goldberg. I just hate him.
Let's hear the rant.
His character in this movie just annoys the piss out of me. He's talks like Seinfeld through this movie.
Or Woody Allen.
Woody Allen, yeah.
Which is, I think, where there's some connections there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, his character just drove me nuts. The hazing was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, you know, who the fuck? The puka shell necklaces.
Yeah, that's...
yeah, there you go.
The way that Parker Posey bonged that beer really bummed me out. And whoever was helping her, lift that thing.
Oh, she was not helping.
Come on.
That was rough. That was rough.
But what else?
But that actually might have been real. So anybody who is of age was drinking on set. They actually encouraged it.
That makes sense.
So
that's the 90s.
So Joey Lauren Adams falling on the ground and Parker Posey falling on the ground, which is a really funny scene, by the way. That might have been real.
Last thing, the coach's Bob Ferguson socks.
Wow, that is very awesome.
You see how high those things were? Attitude adjustment.
I think the coach was pretty.
How about when the coaches are waiting for him to get back to school, and that one assistant stands up and hikes his coach's shorts up a mile high?
The end of the movie
just walks away.
The end of the movie is so goofy. After they get caught by the cops had left. Then the coach is there, scolding them. They still hung around after the cops left, and the coach is to get a scolding from the coach.
No,
and then
I thought the cop was still there. Well, the cop definitely called. My understanding is the cop got a hold of the
cops called the coach. Yes,
because it's all a football town. We can't let the football players get in trouble.
Yeah,
but you don't see
send them on the coach.
You don't see the cops with the coach, so it maybe it was just the cops left after the coach showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them says something like, "Oh, they left already."
Yeah.
Oh,
During
Yeah,
the
it's
scene.
There
Randy's
you go.
saying that whenever he's like, throwing the
Yeah.
sign off sheet or whatever,
Yeah.
where he's, I
Yeah.
won't do drugs and alcohol over the summer.
What a dumb thing to say.
Fuck is this pledge?
All right, John.
Square.
What was your least favorite thing?
I had hazing, but I mean that's the whole point.
Yeah, sure.
The one like random thing that I was like, I guess upset about is the old man. At the end of the baseball game, he grabs the quarterback by his left hand, with his left arm, and he's like, "Is this arm going to be ready to throw 2,000 yards?" And I'm like, he throws with
Is
the
he
other
lefty?
arm, doesn't he?
That scene
Right,
was
I
so
always-
random.
I noticed.
Why was Randy just hanging out with that old couple?
Well, they were
Well,
walking out of the baseball game
Yeah.
and he caught him.
Yeah,
But-
I always that part bothered me too, the lefty thing, because I'm like,
Oh yeah,
and then
he knows
I look
everything
for it.
about the team, but he grabs the wrong arm, and he's like, "How's
Yeah,
that
and then-
arm doing?"
Right, and I look for it in this movie, like, oh, maybe he's left-handed, but when he throws the keys to Wooderson, he's right-handed.
Yeah, when he ends the scene with him, he shakes. I guess it's customary to shake with the right hand, but definitely when he throws the paper, like
Yeah.
after the coach gets on him early on, he throws it with his right hand.
Right, yeah, that old guy doesn't know shit.
Yeah, fucking get your prescription checked.
Eric, what was your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing was Matthew
Hope you're not
McConaughey's
driving
character
home, buddy.
being creepy
Oh, yeah.
on underage
Whose
girls.
character?
Matthew
McConaughey?
Yeah. Wooderson being
Yeah.
fucking creepy
I don't know
as
what's
shit.
so creepy about going, all right.
all right. That was my least favorite thing.
Yeah. Yeah, don't blame you. It's definitely of its time.
Yeah.
And
It was a
the same
man
with the
of his time.
hazing.
Yeah.
I can't say I like either of
No.
those, but I think it makes it okay being in a period piece. Like, this is what they did. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, they ran around and chased people down with paddles. Yeah, that
Man, that's
really
like-
happened.
That's like seeing people's the younger generation's reactions to old Eminem music now because
yeah.
his new song Houdini came out, so people started listening to like the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall
Yeah.
Mathers LP, like listening to like those raunchy songs and like go ah
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
He
used
said
to
the
say.
F word, the other F word.
Well, I think it's more him talking about killing his girlfriend and stuff like that, John.
his mom.
that people are
His
more
mom,
upset about
girlfriend.
than some curse words.
Yeah. Those times.
Those
Yeah,
were the days.
My least favorite thing, and I'm with you on both of those. Those were pretty bad. I also had a hard time understanding why there were no parents at the baseball game. You know, no parents at all. I guess I'm not at my kid's baseball game right now. But
There you
his
go.
grandparents are.
There you
His
go.
grandparents are still there, which is weird. Maybe that was the
Cohen's
grandparents.
getting
of
a
one of the
paddling
players.
as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one he'd have.
What else is interesting about that is the way the catcher stops the game and comes out and talks to him. It kind of makes
all
it
like-
seems like it's like an important game that they need to win or something.
Right.
Like, hey,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, get this last out and let's get out of here. Like it
Yeah.
kind of like gave you the impression that it was an important game for some reason. Not at all.
Yeah, for sure. No, apparently not. My other least favorite thing was I don't remember our middle school dances having a makeout room. How did they get away with that? Like, seriously.
I don't know.
You had to sneak down to the mini gym in our middle school.
Blue Jim.
Love
Yeah,
hurts.
So, come on. I'm not buying the
I
makeover.
remember looking down in that window going, is it a pool? Is it a pool?
I know. When I was a
No,
little
it's a
kid, I
blue
thought it was a
basketball
pool.
court.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish
if we
it was
had a
a
whole
pool.
gym period down there, I'd come up and I'm like, everything looks weird. It's like tinted orange.
It's like playing on
It's
Boise.
like down in a fucking cellar.
Yeah, it's playing on Boise State's football field, watching them on TV. All right, next category we've got who won the movie. Eric, who won the movie for you?
Hirschfelder won the movie because
I know where you're going with this.
because he got his hazing, his paddles, but then he got Affleck's character back by spilling
Hell
paint
yeah.
on him.
So
Man,
good.
What a ruse.
Oh my god.
That was elaborate.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
The way, like, you wouldn't think that was what was going to happen. Like,
No.
hey, you want to get him back? You want to get it, like,
First,
it,
yeah.
you wouldn't think that there would be that much planning involved, but so much happened for them, like,
Yeah.
getting up onto the roof with the paint and
Yeah.
everything. Like, where'd they get the paint?
And how did the timing on dropping the paint? How did he know he wasn't just
100%.
going to whip his ass right away?
yeah, we'll drop one drip on his shoulder when he takes his third swing.
It's like, come on, that was pretty convenient timing. But good answer, John.
Winner, I think, is Mitch, because he has an epic night. He gets in with the in crowd and gets off scot-free.
Yep. Yeah, while his sister would have gotten in big trouble.
Oh yeah, I love his line at her when he's leaving the party. He's like, "Just don't tell her to take it easy on me."
Yeah.
That's when you know you have a cool little brother.
Yeah.
Dave?
I'm just gonna take the easy way out and say Randy won because he's just living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
Nice.
I got a big
Nice.
kick of him saying, if I play, I'm going to play on my terms.
Yeah,
School football.
Yeah,
You're on a
like,
high school
good for
football
you,
team,
man.
buddy. You're playing
I
by their
mean-
terms.
fuck, man. They all got
Good
caught by the
vibes.
cops having pot and stuff, and they didn't even get in trouble.
Yeah.
They won.
No, they're on their way to Aerosmith, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They got a
no.
chance at state.
All right. Never mind. Lost. They lost. Fucking the movie started with Aerosmith, and I was hey,
And ended
fuck
with
you,
Aerosmith.
Kevin.
I think the ending's kind of perfect for what it is, though. Like seeing Mitch go to sleep at daylight, all the stories end well, right? Like I think anybody you could have said one except O'Bannon, probably. Well, obviously.
Man,
Everybody else kind of got their way in some way or another.
I came home at sunrise but not having the same kind of partying experience
Not
that
like
these guys
that,
were having
no.
in high school.
No, no,
It was a little
Land parties, chugging Mountain
Yeah.
Dew was the reason that I was coming home at sunrise.
You've been
It wasn't
chugging
my
that
liver,
Mountain
it
Dew
would've been
again,
my
Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't my liver, it was my heart.
Fucking monster.
I went ahead and said Linklater was the winner of this movie.
Yeah.
I just think that he made a movie that was kind of perfect for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it really jump-started his career. Before this, he made a couple of movies that nobody had heard of.
Was it Slackers?
And after this,
Yeah.
Slackers, which was around the same time, and this movie kind of set his career in the right direction, and probably my favorite movie of his. So I said he won the movie.
Good call.
All right, next question we've got: favorite song, moment, or score scene? I'm going first.
Lots of
Of
good
course.
music. You would go first.
I am. I'm sorry, John, because John and I probably have the same answer.
I've got tons of answers.
I know there's so many good ones, and it's
I have
not
a few.
necessarily. like I have a favorite song, but it's not in the moment. It's not my favorite. But
sorry. No.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I kept like erasing what I had and then typing in a new one as they came up.
Like
What a
Jerry
race.
Lawler in the Royal Rumble. This is my new pick to win.
This is right. So I went ahead and said that McConaughey opening the door and Hurricane playing as they walk into the Emporium. Yeah. That's probably my favorite
It's a good
scene
Dylan song.
as well.
Yeah.
Just epic. What about you, Eric?
I had Black Sabbath Paranoid.
God damn it!
That's
You
my
son of a
favorite
bitch.
song
Yeah.
from this movie.
I liked it because they conveniently placed it behind after a time that they got stoned. So I thought that
Okay.
was funny and clever.
Yeah, that's good.
Very clever. Yeah, I didn't think about that. John?
I go last.
Mine is Slow Ride, when Mitch
Nice.
gets into his bed and puts his headphones on and he's gotten away with his awesome night.
Nice.
Probably drifts off into a deep sleep while they go get Aerosmith tickets.
All right.
All right.
Dave?
All right, mine is Sweet. No, fuck you, Kevin. It's Tush by ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Nice. Also,
Isn't
shout out
it
to
pronounced
Kiss.
Tush?
Is it Tush?
I'm just looking for some
Yeah.
Tush.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Tush, Tush. I ain't fucking
Touch.
Southern.
Kiss.
Darn near Mexican.
All right, next question we've got. Does this movie get made now?
Man, I was thinking it would be very interesting to like see this take in like I was thinking
90s,
like our
2000s.
generation, but then I was
That's
like,
what I
well,
was
that's
thinking.
kind of like Superbad, right?
Yeah.
Superbad is pretty close to it's pretty close to like what it was like when we were in high school, I think. You don't see any cell phones hanging around or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I thought it would be pretty interesting to like see a high school movie like this in like a digital age.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
would be
was-
kind of interesting.
I was thinking I'm on the exact same page. I was thinking like Taking Back Sunday, brand new soundtrack here, and doing something from when we were in high
Yes.
school. And I think the only thing that Superbad is missing is that it doesn't have a specific decade. And
No, it doesn't.
What I mean by
But
that is
that's
the
why
music, right?
Yeah, right.
The outfits, everything is. It's not necessarily It's a weird, and maybe that is accurate to how it is now. How everything's mixed or jumbled together. But I agree. I would love to see something right before cell phones,
Yeah.
because that we kind of grew up with and without. So I kind of like the idea of maybe a 2004 era.
There were
movie.
some people that had like the early flip phones
Yeah.
whenever we were seniors in high school.
Yeah. Yep. That's when I first got a cell phone. But yeah, I'm with you, Dave.
Which they
I'd
have in
love to see that.
Superbad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh, they
flip
did have
phones.
cell phones in Superbad. You're right. They did. But it was like rare that it popped
Yeah.
up, like that it came out.
Yeah,
I
they were
remember-
talking
you're,
on that.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
And there's no
It was
mention
weird.
of free porn. And you
Yeah. It's super bad.
just a food for
Yeah.
thought.
What a
Anyways,
time to be
Eric or
alive.
John, what do you
I
think?
said that I wish, I wish it would get made again, or like an updated version or some take on it, because you can just tell that like Linklater really cared about this movie and like making exactly what he wanted, and it was something that was very authentic to him. And I just don't think that so the the pessimist in me says that I don't think that happens today. It's all about people wanting like budgets to make movies, and they make movies more based on that than
Yeah.
feelings and emotion. But That's just negative me thinking.
That's why we're gonna make a movie about the 2000s.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see, like to keep the same concepts involved of like, smoking pot and
Yeah,
like
that's time.
drinking
Tales
with your
time.
friends and stuff, but like
Yeah,
how you get away with it in the modern age or whatever, as
Yeah, we
compared
need
to
to
like
ask
how
you.
it was in the 70s, like that would be cool.
I
Yeah.
agreed. Yeah, definitely. I would love to do something or see something, seeing our generation, because again, it is different than the modern times. So, yeah, that would be cool. John, any other thought?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Well, that's good.
usually you follow it up after.
It's good.
What are those thoughts, John?
start.
Well, the question is if it's made
Yes.
now. The answer's
Certainly.
yes. But you guys pretty much covered it all. It's like tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Junior high transitioning to high school transitioning to, like, Matt mentioned American Graffiti. Can't Hardly Wait is another movie that I'm reminded of in this, where it's like just the whirlwind of change in adolescence, I guess. You can milk that cash cow till kingdom come.
100%. Absolutely. All right, next category we've got favorite line from the movie.
Behind every great man, there's a great woman. And that woman was Martha Washington, man. Every day when George came home, she had a big fat bowl packed for him. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, Slater had some
Slater's
great
so
diatribes, man. Like,
They
were so good.
Fields of it. Fields of it.
You ever look at a dollar bill, man?
I actually, with my half-assed
Green?
research, I actually found out that Washington did grow hemp fields.
Holy shit, Slater was onto something.
It wasn't wrong.
What did he say? Imagine all the people out there, or how many people out there fucking right now?
Just fucking, man.
Wait, I wrote that one down. I wrote
Yeah,
that.
what's the exact line?
I wrote it down. Hang on.
Spoiler alert.
Imagine how many people are out there fucking, man.
Just going at it.
Just going.
Yeah, that's it. John?
I came here to do two things.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, sorry.
That was my. Oh no, go ahead.
I came here
for
to
it.
do two things: kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're about out of beer.
Yeah, I have that one too, for sure. One of mine. John?
This is not the full line, but it's Matthew McConaughey at the end when they're on the 50-yard line smoking.
It's a
You
pep
just
talk.
gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Yeah, the line that precedes that I like too, because he's like, the older you get, or the older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get to you to follow.
Yeah, which is
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
explains
right.
his obsession with not growing up.
Parker Posey
Bingo.
had a good one. She said,
I like
"Wipe
her
that
in this
face
a
off
lot.
your head, bitch."
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard something about that where that wasn't the line, but she liked that so much that she said it and he
It was
kept it in.
Wipe
was-
that face off your head, bitch.
I think it was in a play that she had done a long time before that.
Yes, that's
and like
it.
it wasn't
Yep,
wasn't
that
a
was
comedic
it.
thing or anything. Like it wasn't a comedic line.
And she
but
liked
she
it or it stuck
and then
with her, right?
she did it for that scene.
Yeah, that's funny.
So,
I like the whole conversation where he's like, "Say, man, you got a joint?"
Not on me.
He's
Nah,
like,
man, not on
no,
me.
not on me. Be a lot cooler if you did.
What do you say to
I
that?
get-
Like you get in the car and that's what you're greeted with.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was, but it was like between two guys talking about a girl, and he's like, Well, just maybe you haven't got past the sniffing butt phase. About, like, just brown nosing her.
I like the line. Put some ice on it. After that, there's nothing a few beers would take care or won't take care of.
Yeah.
What should we inscribe on your tombstone? How about bend over?
What's Slater say? Man, some other freshman fell down all these steps, and he's like,
Yeah, he fell
He had
down
4
the middle,
beers.
hitting his head on every.
How many beers you have?
how many beers you had?
Hey, no, it was only one beer. He was like, he only
one
had
beer,
one
that's
beer. He's like, how many did you have? At least 4.
The one I think I laughed at the most this past time was the scene, and it's pretty great, but when Wooderson pulls up to the nerd car and he looks at the redheaded girl who is actually Giovanni Ribisi's sister in real life.
Okay.
Which is cool. Cool
Yeah.
little tidbit. And he just goes, yeah, well, listen, you ought to ditch those 2 geeks that you're in the car with now and get in with us. But that's all right. We'll worry about that later. Just like right in front of the nerds. Like,
right,
what?
and the part I love about that scene is how after he leaves, they're dogging her like, "You're disgusting. You're such an old man." And
She's like, oh, I think
and
he's
then
cute.
she's like, "So are we gonna go to that party?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's go."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, also true. No, that one, I just love how he asks if she can get out of the car when she's driving. Of course, there's the all right, which we talked about. Any Wooderson line. I mean, I didn't write it down, but again, when he's explaining the car engine stuff, it's so funny. Every line he has just kills. All right, next category we've got most rewatchable scene.
All right, I got a good one for this one because I just dogged on the boy because his character sucks through this whole fucking movie. He's so annoying, but
It's gonna help my
when he
casting.
finally stands up for himself and he decks the greaser guy,
It's awesome.
pours the beer over his head and then waits for him to turn around and then decks him. I could watch that on repeat all day.
Yeah.
I love his mentality on doesn't want to disrupt the herd, but then I also love how Cole Hauser is holding people back from helping. Like, the football player
it's
is
because
like, no.
it's because Mike he sits there. He's like I already got it all planned out. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him. And then nobody wants to see a fight continue going on, so they're not going to let him hit me
Everyone's
too
gonna
many
jump in.
times.
So I love the
But then
I
he
love
gets
the
held.
football players
Yeah, they hold him back.
until Randall comes in there. But I think that's all hilarious scene. Nice, Eric.
I said the paint getting spilled on O'Donnell.
Yeah, that was one of mine.
He was being such a fuck.
Or
O'Bannon. Yeah,
O'Bannon.
sorry, O'Bannon. He was being such a prick the whole time. Just seeing that paint get dumped on him.
Yeah,
Sweet
he was
revenge.
really fucking.
I think
Despicable,
Affleck.
dude.
Yeah, and I think Affleck kills it.
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Like I know it's overacting, but it's on purpose, and it's just phenomenal. Like, just the meltdown that he has, and he like
Fucking just
it tries to attack Rand. Like, he just gets pissed at everybody. That's
that's
something
what
that
he-
happens in real life.
It definitely reminded me of someone that we all know from high school who got very angry.
Wonder who I would have. I
From
wonder
time
who
to
I would
time.
cast as that person.
I don't know
there's
who
a
you
few
guys are
here.
talking about. Who are you talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll find out. I also said that one, Eric, and also I mentioned earlier, but just the hurricane scene is just seeing all the kids playing pool at a Podium and McConaughey walking in with his new gang of misfits. That scene doesn't ever stop getting
Man.
awesome to me.
How cool of a spot would that have been to have had growing up?
Yeah.
A place like the Emporium.
Yeah,
That
would
would've
have
been dope.
awesome. Like an arcade or something, like a 16-bit in our our place.
Yeah,
would be
that
sweet.
stoner
with
dude
pool
whose
tables.
party fell through is down there schooling people at foosball.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. John, what about you?
My only one was the comeuppance of O'Banion when they pour paint on him. Just too satisfying.
That and another mentionable scene I guess I liked a lot was when they're pulled over and he opens up the trunk and there's just a ton of beer and ice in there and he's like,
"Oh,
you
yeah.
want one?" That was
Dude,
crazy.
It was just literally a trunk cooler.
Yeah.
A trunk cooler.
That was nuts. I liked it. I just
A
love
troller.
watching that scene roll out. All right, next we got most likely to be Offscreen Drunk, a movie about partying.
Kevin.
So
As Kevin.
it doesn't get old. I said O'Bannon because he's still living his glory days to this day.
He was on screen though.
Yeah, I know. This one's kind of tough for this because no one's hiding it. Maybe
I
the
said
coach.
the football coach
Ah, there you go.
because
Those
Nice, good
I-
answer.
I
That
just-
makes
are
sense.
good ones. Those are good ones.
Oh,
Kevin.
what do you got? What do you got?
it's Kevin.
John, do you have anybody else?
Oh, I'm thinking Mitch's mom, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
She just letting her
she's a
kids run
boozer.
wild.
Oh, that would make
Mitch's
sense.
older sister mentions what happened to her when she did it when she was little, and
Yeah.
when he gets back, she's kind of like, "Oh, you young rascal!
You know,
Go
on.
Mr.
That
Pritchard
You're not
really
drunk,
fucked
are
up.
you?"
Like if he was gonna stop the party anyway, he should have just taken the keg delivery.
Yeah.
And just fucking
right?
had gotten drunk his own self. Like, but no, he.
So would you shut it down or would you just like, well, I guess they didn't really, they just said, hey, we're staying here. I was going to say, I kind of would sit it out and try to like trick them. Like maybe even pretend I'm going somewhere.
Yeah,
then
they don't
show up.
really resolve that
And then show
keg
up.
delivery
No.
scene. They're just like, it
No, they
didn't
don't.
happen.
Well, maybe it did, and then Sean Andrews got in a fight with the main character.
maybe. Who knows?
All right,
Never know.
next we got casting our friends. John, you want to go first?
Right. We've got Matt. You are Randall Pink Floyd, quarterback of the team.
It's that
Eric,
left arm.
I'm sorry if this is a little bit creepy, but the Anthony, aka Tony, who ends up dating the freshman
Oh,
girl, basically because he sticks up for the bullshit of Parker Posey's drunk ass trying to
Yeah, good answer.
continue demeaning the young lady. Dave is Matthew McConaughey just because I think he could pull it off. He's got the
Dave
swagger.
Hugh McConaughey.
All right.
Daniel, I have as, I guess his character's name is Mike Newhouse.
Newhouse, yeah.
Yeah,
And he-
fucking Adam Goldberg. He's a piece of shit. No offense, Daniel.
I can
I
see
thought
though.
he could be good as like
I could
a
see it 100%.
smart kid who wants to have an epic moment.
But then gets fucking decked.
Yeah,
and cries.
slightly miscalculates. Kevin, I have as Mitch because he's the little baby.
So good.
I mean, the way Mitch kind of held himself together better his first time getting drunk than the first time that Kevin got drunk.
I don't.
There was a
I
first
don't
time?
remember.
You mean he hasn't always been
Man, I
that way?
don't remember that. Oh my god!
It's like that kid that touches the bridge of his nose. He did it, and he's been
Ever
doing it
since.
Yeah,
continuously.
That's so funny. Dave, do you have anybody?
Just Ben Affleck's character as Cole. I'll say it. I
Want some?
Cole, I hope you're watching this.
Oh, yeah, too. That's awesome.
What are you looking at?
I might have done the same thing, but I had another answer for O'Bannon for a different reason.
What's that?
But, yeah, I can go. So I said Kevin was O'Bannon because he was trying to be a high schooler again. So I think that could work with Wooderson as well. But he failed and he's going back to high school. So living his, high school days is it's kind of a Kevin thing.
Yeah.
I said Bogey is Clint. In college, he was there to drink beer and kick some ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
That's a good one.
I had to think about who Clint
I
was.
said
sorry.
Daniel. Yeah. The 50s greaser. I had Daniel as Don Dawson, the bleached blonde hair guy. And I said that was because he'll get in a car with anybody to have a good time. Because if you notice, he hops from one car to the other. He's just there to party. So that would be Daniel. And I had one more. I actually said, all right. So I said that John could have been pretty much anybody in this movie.
I was just going to say, no one cast John? What the fuck is happening
just
here?
wait. So I said John could be Slater for obvious reasons. I said Wooderson because he has the southern accent. Mm-hmm. And, he would be the one that would say, I would live the life like L-I-V-I-N.
You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
That should be tattooed on John, I think. And then John could also be Randall Floyd because he wants to live by his own rules, his own vibe. John's
if I play, it's going to be on my terms.
On his terms. John's kind of the free spirit that Randall Pink Floyd is. So.
I think Daniel's got a lot of that free spirit in him. I might play ball.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
playing mud ball tomorrow. Except I am.
And also an honorable mention for John being Wiley Wiggins or Mitch Kramer, because when John had that longer hair and he wore 70s shirts or whatever, I always got the Mitch Kramer vibe from John as well. So John was a lot of characters in this. I could probably argue any of them in some way, but the vibe of this movie is John. So I definitely wanted him on this one. So thanks, John, for
70s
getting
rock
on.
and roll hit between every
That's right.
scene.
Yeah, what is not to like about this? All right, Eric. Who'd you got?
I said first thing, John is Slater. That was the first thing I wrote down. I said Kevin.
Hey, man. You cool?
He doesn't know.
John asked pencil.
I said that Kevin is Newhouse because he overthinks everything constantly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then I also said Daniel's Dawson, but I said because he's just loud as hell all the time.
Also a good answer.
Yeah. And then I said Dave was the dude that was supposed to have the party. What's his name?
Sean Andrews.
Pritchard.
In real
Pritchard.
Richard in the
Yeah.
in the movie, yeah.
I said Dave was that guy because he's still high, but he's got it together.
Thanks,
Unlike
Eric.
Slater. Unlike Slater, who's just fucking, whoa, man. You're welcome, Dave.
Ditch the weed. Ditch the
You're
weed.
welcome. And that was my list.
Nice. Apparently that was a wig Slater was wearing.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
His little
he has
derby hat.
Hey,
yeah, he has the
man.
hat, so
All right, we got 2 categories left. First, we'll do, is this a podium role for any of the top billed cast members? So, kind of what we talked about off screen or off this podcast was that The top build in this case, yeah, off the record, no, but the top build in this case really didn't get the top billing until later on, and so the biggest two characters or actors in this are Ben Affleck and Matthew McConaughey. Now, they're not the main character as Jason London or Joey Lauren Adams as the girlfriend for him or Wiley Wiggins as
if you
Mitch
want to call it
Kramer.
that.
Right.
She's
yeah,
barely
that's
in this.
Yeah, true. Well, this was actually her first movie as well.
Yeah.
So I said yes pretty much for anybody not named Affleck and McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Parker Posey and what is it, Mila Jovovich?
Yeah.
Both of
they were
those
in-
actors have pretty stacked careers as well.
They do.
But
Fair.
They do.
I'm not sure. It's
But-
I just want to throw them out there because like
Yeah,
they're
oh,
not.
I
I don't
wanna-
think.
I'm-
I don't think they're
Honorable
automatically. Yeah, I don't think they're automatically on the yes
No.
list.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So Mila was in the Resident Evil films was kind of her biggest role.
And more
so I would-
importantly, The Fifth Element.
And of course, The Fifth Element. So I would agree that she's probably borderline. And Parker Posey, yeah, she was in Superman and a bunch of stuff in the 90s.
Yeah.
I also said Joey Lauren Adams. I wanted to talk about her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like she was going to have a huge career. I mean, she had this, Chasing Amy, Big Daddy, all in a span of maybe 3 to 5 years. And then after that, I don't really know what she was in. I mean,
Man.
like, I didn't look specifically, but I don't really remember other than Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I had such a crush on her from Big Daddy.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. So she was one that, I mean, again, I really like the Chasing Amy movie, and I like, Big Daddy. And that's pretty much it. McConaughey, this is his first movie. This is either Ben Affleck's first movie or one of the first movies for him as well. And how crazy this is where they got their start.
Yeah.
And this cast was perfect.
So
You
wait,
had
do you
your-
guys say yes for both of them, or what?
I said no, actually.
okay.
No,
yeah,
no for them, but
Okay.
yes for pretty much everybody else.
my gut said
Yeah.
I said no for McConaughey, but my gut says yes for Affleck.
Huh.
But I don't know.
Yes
Yeah.
for Affleck?
I was looking back at the movies, and I'm sure.
Good Will
sure if-
Hunting, probably, right?
Yeah, Good Will Hunting for sure. I really liked Argo, and then
Nargo.
Gone Girl was really good as well.
Yeah.
So like, maybe I don't know. He was really good
Yeah.
in this too. So
I mean, he's awesome in this. I think for me, at least, to have it higher would be a bigger role.
I don't
Yeah,
I think
hate
that's
my
true.
determining factor.
that's true.
But he is great in this. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's so good.
I don't hate it.
What?
I don't hate his opinion. I don't hate it.
No, I don't either. It's a good take.
Thank you.
Also, let's
John,
see,
are you
is there
awake?
Anybody else?
Yes, sir, I'm aware.
All right.
Yes,
Well, let's finish this, John.
yes, I am.
Hey,
just been-
you guys.
I've just been sitting here sleeping with my eyes open.
I'm just resting
Oh,
my
but
eyes.
But I did want to say, yeah, I thought this cast was perfect because you had two guys that were, no names at the time, skyrocket their careers, and they are who they are. And when you look back, they're really good in this, and now you can see why they were going to be a star. But you
Yeah.
also had the main characters like Mitch Kramer, Jason London, who, if they were like, say, a young Leo or somebody, this movie might not have made sense. But they were so fallen back, and I mean, Jason, Jeremy is his brother. Jason London is kind of like a game manager, if I'm, throwing this as a football reference. He's a Baker Mayfield or, somebody who is not standing out too much. And I think if he did that, it would be a little rougher. I think it'd be too much. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think so.
I think if it's a young Leo, it's like, well,
He
maybe we
stands
don't
out
get
too
McConaughey.
much.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
get a McConaughey, or we don't get somebody else that. They just have so many different roles in this that I thought it just balances well between people who skyrocketed and people who might not have been that great, but good for this.
And like people who kind of like demand the attention in the scene, and those who aren't as much.
Right.
I guess.
If right, like a young Leo's in this, any scene he's in, you're watching him.
Yeah,
but in
exactly.
This, Randall's kind of in every scene. Like, again, he's the glue guy, and he's kind of the friends with everybody.
He floats around,
and you don't need to see him. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to stare at him.
Yeah.
But I thought that was cool. All right, last category we've got. Does this podium on your list for movies that take place within one day? So we already did 1993 with Jurassic Park, and I don't remember if anybody put this. I think I might have put this movie on there.
I don't know. I wasn't on Jurassic Park.
I know. What a sad time.
We're going to have to redo it.
93
yeah,
didn't
I think we
exist
should.
To me.
We should redo it for our 1 year.
Oh, yeah, that's just like a week or two away.
Yeah, we should. I wonder if our answers would be the same without. So, like, the stipulation would be you can't look at what you said before, and then we compare. I think that's a good idea.
I like it.
So yeah, we did 1993 already. So I would think that it would make sense to find a different, category. And we've already done a high school one, so why not throw out the idea that, hey, this movie actually only takes place in a day? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's see, Dave, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. My list is gonna go Die Hard at number 3.
Nice.
Training Day at number 2.
Dang, I forgot about Training Day. Nice.
And Clerks, number 1.
Nice.
Wow, number 1 for Clerks.
I love
Nice.
Clerks. Clerks is a good movie.
Yeah.
It speaks to me as a gas station clerk.
Yeah,
for
having
John,
worked that job,
you're not a gas station
having
clerk
worked
now.
enough like customer service jobs, like I totally get like everything that movie is about, and just I love dark comedy, so that that
we should do that. We should do
Clerks
that
would be
movie
a good
soon.
one. Dude, or Clerks
Because-
2. I Clerks 2 is so good too. That movie's so funny.
It is. And I just think, like, for me at least, I didn't really appreciate Clerks until I was older, but I haven't seen it in 20 years. So how would it age now? Or maybe not 20 years, but how would it age now? That one, I'm really curious if I'd like it more now that I'm in my 30s. Like you said, like
movie.
more relatable things that I wouldn't have thought of when I was, 15. So I think that would be a really good one to watch now that we're older.
Berserker.
Nice. That second one is pretty ridiculous. But the second one sticks with me more because of they were more famous, so they had a lot more people that you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
there's
after
a bunch
like
of cameos.
Jay and Silent Bob and all
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Eric, what was your list?
My list, similar, starts with Clerks. So that's number 3.
Nice.
Number 2 is Breakfast Club.
Nice.
And then number 1 is Die Hard.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess we
Training Day
didn't
is such a
answer
good
the
movie.
question. So
no.
for both the first two.
Yeah.
John, what about you? Does this podium?
Yes, it is. For me, I have at 2 on my podium.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Number 3, I have Doctor Strangelove.
Oh.
Subtitle,
nice.
whatever
Curveball.
it is. How I Learned to Stop Caring and Love the Bomb.
Yeah.
Number 1, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
I was
such a good
wondering
one.
if somebody would say that.
That was an outside looking in for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's my list.
all of my outside looking ins were already mentioned. Die Hard, Clerks, Breakfast Club, except nobody said Groundhog Day.
That's a good one.
Technically.
At the end, it goes into the next day, right?
It does.
because he wakes up
Technically, yeah, he wakes up and it's,
and
the,
it's
next
the next
day.
day.
It's 24 hours and 1 minute. Technicality, damn it. My number 3 was The Goonies.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Goonies wasn't on that list that you sent us.
It might have been at some point. I just sent the IMDb list, but
yeah.
The Goonies does take place in a day.
I kind of went strictly by that list, but man,
What
I
was
didn't,
high?
I didn't realize The Goonies was all in one day. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, I
It's
just
so
thought
good.
of one that wasn't on that list.
What was it? Well, wait until I say it.
Okay.
So actually, it doesn't matter. Go ahead. My already 2, we already know. What were you going to say, John?
Friday?
Oh,
My gosh, yes.
man.
Oh, that is a good one.
Oh, okay. So my number 2 is Friday. Not Ferris
That's
Bueller.
my next pick to win the Royal Rumble.
Ferris Bueller went down to 4. Friday, oh my gosh. Love Friday.
That list needs updated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my number 1 is Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah.
Number 1.
Well, I did see. I was going technically like Can't Hardly Wait is mostly
It's the next day.
Yeah, like it's mostly that night, but at the end it is the next day.
Right. It's
So-
a little more than a minute, like in
That's
Groundhog
true.
Day.
That's true.
Because they show that whole scene where they're at the diner the next morning and
Yeah.
the guy steals the gumball machine. And so it
Yeah.
is the next day a little bit more than most of the other ones.
Yeah.
Because like in the Goonies, it's like, okay, well, there it is at night, but it's
This is
clearly
our
early,
last
early in the
day at our
morning.
house before we move out.
Right, right. And them coming out of the ocean or whatever, that's all at like 5 in the morning.
One more, we've already mentioned it a couple times, but another one that seemed to me to take place in a day that I liked was American Graffiti. And it's like
Yeah, it is one
the
day.
same thing, just like, okay, in the 50s.
Yep, such a good movie. All right, well, thanks for tuning into our show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms for clips, updates, and opportunities to vote on a movie we watch. I'm not sure what we have next.
Yeah.
We'll
Figure
find
it
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure.
Wait and see.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.
Later.
Maybe you can help.
God,
Later.
I couldn't hold
Bye.
it anymore. I had to pee so bad.